What's going on, Mountaineer Nation? It's your boy Bernie Mac doing a quick show today. Talk about some of the things we've got going on the recruiting trail. For any of you that's been following this week, West Virginia and Rich Rodriguez did it again, picking up another commit, flipping Aidan Woods from North Carolina over to West Virginia. I think the recent performance of the football team combined with Rich Rod's style and just what he's building probably lent some momentum to having this shift. This is a great pickup. I mean, Aidan Woods, offensive line, tight end hybrid, 6'6", 255 from Abington, Virginia. Guy's just a beast. And I think this is a really good testament to the kind of football program that Rich Rod's building with the kind of players he wants. And Woods is going to be a fantastic addition. And I think when you look at what Rich Rod's trying to do from, an offensive scheme perspective, a lot of big bodies, a lot of athleticism, being able to kind of fit the scheme that he wants to run offensively, this guy's a perfect fit for that. So when you look at our current rankings, according to On3 Rival Sports, we're sitting at 53rd in the national rankings prior to Woods' commitment being factored in there. We are currently 11th in the Big 12 with an 86.60 ranking. So I think this is going to go up, obviously, with Woods. But when you look at this class as a whole, it's really made up of a lot of 3 stars, at least from this ranking base, right? But that's always kind of what Rich Rod's done. That's what's been successful for him in the past. He recruits guys that are going to be loyal, that's going to fit his system really well, and that he's going to be able to coach up and turn a 3-star into a 4-star, 5-star, etc. And that's always kind of been like the West Virginia, model. And when you look at our average NIL value comparatively, right, our average NIL value per player is only $14,000. So that's, again, based off of the 2026 class. But when you look at it comparatively to the other programs that we're competing against, we know that that's going to elevate based off of transfer status, incoming from high school, yada, yada, and then what their performance and assessment is going to be after they arrive on campus. But, you look at some of these people that we have on this team, and there's a bunch of them that I think, again, we're going to look at. We're going to say, okay, this is going to be a really talented player. When you look at some of the rankings and the ratings, our highest rated player right now is Christopher Talley at 88.37 from Memphis. But then you go down and it's a lot of 88s, a lot of 86s. But I also feel like there's a lot of guys that are going to be beasts within this program and really just kind of come in and are going to be able to start right away or have an immediate impact. I've been really high on Camden Goforth, offensive lineman from Tennessee. The dude's just a beast, and I love his mentality. If you follow him on X, he just seems to be a guy that's really going to fit in this system. But again, I mean, if you look at our recruiting average, our highest rated recruit being at 88.37, our lowest ranking being at 83.67, that's kind of right in that middle ground wheelhouse where I do feel like Rich Rod's going to be able to coach these guys up and do some really good things and have them just fit the scheme. So, we'll dive into it a little more. But before we go into that, please, if you guys are watching, make sure you hit subscribe for our YouTube channel. That's where you're going to get a bunch of information as far as hold on, sorry, a little technical difficulties here. A bunch of information as far as giveaways and stuff like that. So it's, again, Voice of Morgantown Media Network on YouTube. So be sure to subscribe. With this being said, again, right, when we get Aidan Woods, we flip a commit. Obviously, we're flipping a commit from North Carolina ACC school. Woods had interest from Central Michigan, Coastal Carolina, Cornell, Liberty, just name a few. But again, I mean, we're flipping this commit and we're putting him into a good system where he's basically saying, like, hey, this is going to be the best fit for me. And I think Rich Rod, his coaching staff, and who he has around him are really going to be able to kind of elevate these kids in a different way. And I think it's going to be exciting to kind of see the future. And I know we've talked about it a lot the Cignetti comparison with Rich Rod. Obviously, Cignetti's in year 2. He's had a tremendous amount of success at Indiana. That Penn State game was unbelievable the other day. But when I look at how Rich Rod's building the program now, I feel a lot better about how he's building the program now. And I almost sacrifice that for some of the immediate success, because I do think even as we're seeing this team turn the corner this year, he's building long-term loyalty, credibility around kids that he feels are going to fit well in the system, and people that are going to be grateful to have the opportunity to come to a place like West Virginia and be a part of something that I think is going to be really special in the coming years. And they're not maybe going to go and chase dollars. They're not going to just, chase accolades and all these other things. I think they're going to want to be a part of what Rich Rod's building. And I think if you look at the group of former players that he has around him that have come back to the program, that have been instrumental in his coaching staff, or just giving back to the program like Pat McAfee, it shows you how they feel about Rich Rod as former players. And that's a special bond, right? Like, they don't need to do that just because they went to West Virginia. They're doing that because they love Rich Rodriguez, they love West Virginia, and they believe in him and they believe in his ability. And I think, there's a lot of people talking over the last several weeks about the Cignetti and Rich Rod comparisons. Why could Cignetti find success so quickly and Rich Rod couldn't find success so quickly? Look, Cignetti's a good coach. I'm not taking away from that. Big Ten, obviously a higher NIL bucket to pull from. But I do think Rich Rod's building this program the right way. And quite honestly, if we had a guy like Cignetti, I'd be worried he was going to leave anyway. We know Rich Rod's going to be here. He's going to be here for the long haul. He wants to retire at West Virginia. Then if he could give us 10, 12 really good years where we're successful and get us back to the level that we were when he was here in his first stint, I'm totally okay with that, because we're never going to have to worry about him making the same mistake and going to a different school. He's in it for the long haul till he retires. And I think that peace of mind for me as a West Virginia fan that always sees our guys get poached, even going back on the basketball side to all the nonsense that happened with the sleaze last year, it's good to just know we have a guy that's going to be with us no matter what. And he, I've said this before on previous shows, but we owe him patience and loyalty this first year, and we're already seeing the team start to turn around. And they've got a shot at a bowl game now. I do think they have a really good shot at beating Arizona State away. And then to have a game like Texas Tech, who's a top 10 team, at home as the final game of the season to possibly make a bowl game, that would be awesome. And I think it would be like an electric environment. That's almost like our bowl game, even if we don't make a bowl game. That's kind of how I'm looking at it. I don't know how you guys feel, but I think we have to handle business, obviously, this week at Arizona State, and put ourselves in a position to at least play for that for the end of the season. And you know what? Even if he loses to a top 10 Texas Tech team and we go 5-7, the turnaround that we've seen in the second half of the season, it's tremendous, and it bodes well for the future. So we also have Kevin Brown hanging out there for everybody that's been following. The guy has a history with West Virginia. Anybody that sees this high school, tape films, he's got West Virginia gloves on. He's got a family connection here. We know we've been going after him hard. He would be I believe the 4th or 5th highest ranked or highest rated recruit on program history, which is crazy. So again, I think we have a really good opportunity to see what Rich Rod's doing, how he's going after it. Resources are being devoted in the correct way, and the future is bright. And I think we all feel really good right now between the basketball and the football programs, men, women's soccer, women's basketball, just our programs. And I've said this numerous times, our athletic program as a whole is in a very good spot. So, football, I'm bummed. I feel like the season was so quick already, right? We might only have 2 more games left after being so excited about it. But now I'm also really excited about basketball. It's been fun to watch that team continue to gel and play together. And, Hunter Huff and that three-pointer he almost just hit from the logo was great to see. But I'm really excited to kind of see how the football team's going to finish out first. And I do feel like we're in a really good spot. I love Scotty Fox. I love Dior Hubbard. I think, having this core of the team back next year is going to be fantastic. When you combine these guys with like a Jaheim White, and if a Ty Edwards comes back, we're going to be really good next year. And I know we said this year, and we felt like we had a real opportunity, but you can't overcome the amount of injuries that we've had this year with this new of a team not being deep and just kind of going through the season. So again, I feel really good about where we are. But touching on some of the articles I know Brad put up on our website, which I kind of found funny because, we've seen a bunch of stuff about Juju's mom getting upset that he got his hair pulled. I thought that article that Brad put out was absolutely hilarious. I don't know if you guys saw that, but it was pretty funny. His mom was really mad that he got his hair kind of clipped in the game the other day and pulled down. I thought Brad's article was hilarious because, look, man, you're a football player. You've got your hair down to here popping out of the back of your helmet. You're going to get your hair pulled, right? I mean, it's just the way the game is going to work. It's not always going to happen, but you can't hem and haw when it does happen. I just thought that his mom getting so upset about his hair getting pulled is hilarious. Like, either cut your hair, tuck it in your helmet, wear a cap, do something like that, but don't complain about it when you're leaving it out there. That's your own fault. So I thought that was really funny. But, again, I think it's kind of funny just to see how this season's progressed, see some of the excitement around the recruits. It was cool having Dion in for the game, even though I thought he was an arrogant ass saying like, there's no way West Virginia is a better football team. Because why? He has more higher star recruits. But it was cool to also see his connection to Noel Devine and some of the stuff that's gone on there. We know how close he's been to, some other players throughout our program. I think Pac-Man and some other things. So, look, it's fun year. It's disappointing that we are where we are right now. I think we had a couple of wins. If we would have been playing like the way we are right now, like specifically to me, I think we could have won the Ohio game. I think we probably could have won the UCF game. Other games were tough games, but if we would have won those two games and we're sitting, in a different position right now, where we're 6-4, and then it doesn't matter what happens with the rest of the season because we're guaranteed a bowl, that'd be great. But, Scotty Fox, credit to him. He's really grown up these last few games. He's made some good decisions. Like to see him clean up the interceptions. But he's still making some good reads, and I think as he matures, he's going to see that game slow down for him a little bit. He'll make better reads. He'll be able to read the defense and check the plays at the line. And then Dior Hubbard, I'm just a huge fan of. I think he's shown a lot of heart. He's playing through injury. He's been nicked up. Everybody's kind of gelling at the right time, which is great to see. So with that being said, let's hope that we can lock up Kevin Brown this week. I think that would be a huge piece of momentum and the recruiting class moving forward. But I know that Rich Rod's going to continue to find these diamonds in the rough. He's going to continue to elevate the guys. And I think with a full year of guys under his belt, we're going to come out pretty dangerous next year. Now, I'm not saying we're going to go in and we're going to win the Big 12 next year, but I'm not saying we can't. And I do think as this team becomes older, more mature, and we get the right guys in the program, we are going to be contenders for a long time moving forward with Rich Rod at the helm. So I think everybody should feel really good, not only about how the football season is turning out and finishing, but basketball looks promising. We've got a big game coming up with the Backyard Brawl in 2 days. I can't wait to watch that. That's going to be fun. And, just see how everything finishes out. Continue to root on men's soccer's in the quarterfinals. I think they have Kentucky coming up. Marshall. I'm sorry. They play Marshall again. And then the winner of that game has the winner of the other series to get in the semis. So, it's an exciting time in sports. So continue to cheer on the team and go from there. Let's go Mountaineers.
Some Morgantown, we break it first. WVU pride. We quench your thirst, no spin, all truth, loud and proud. Mountaineer nation, say it loud. The Voice of Morgantown.